Juice of the Bulletproof Fixer Chapter 1 Whispers of the Past and the Price of Shoes. As Yumi stood her ground against the fierce glare from Lana in the Neon Nectar Juice Bar, the scene faded, transporting the audience a week back in time, to the illustrious H. Wang Corp boardroom. In this boardroom, modernity and elegance intertwined. The overhead chandeliers refracted light off polished marble floors, and the walls were adorned with high-definition holograms showcasing H. Wang Corp's successes and innovations. This was the nerve center of technological advancement in Koreatown. But that day, the room was abuzz for a different reason. The members whispered amongst themselves, all due to the unconventional tie Mr. Park was wearing, its pattern a riot of colors, clashing garishly with his otherwise impeccable suit. Just as the murmurs grew louder, Lana, H. Wang Corp's prized asset, gracefully adjusted Mr. Park's tie, saving him from further fashion ridicule. The board members leaned in as Lana started her presentation. Holographic displays painted the air with the images of a long-lost plant, the demon's breath. As Lana narrated, the ancient legends associated with this plant took form. It was said to possess powers to bridge the realms of the living and the spectral, enabling the summoning or control of demons. The ancients, fearing its immense potential, had driven it to extinction. However, our very own mercenary, Tony, she said, her voice taking on a dreamy quality, betraying a hint of a crush, found fossilized samples of this plant on one of his dangerous expeditions. It's said to be extinct, eradicated by ancients fearing its power. But today, we have cultivated it. Lana's voice, usually firm and commanding, took on a soft, dreamy tone as she spoke of Tony's discovery. In his hands, the past resurrected, she whispered. H. Wang Corp scientists had succeeded in reviving the demon's breath from those fragments. A soft giggle broke the solemnity. Tony, always coming through with the unexpected, Lana gushed, her eyes shimmering. He's resourceful. The potential applications of the plant left the board awestruck. Its implications in clean energy are unprecedented, and early studies suggest a revolution in telecommunications, she explained, her passion evident. Wi-Fi signals are clearer and bandwidth has significantly increased wherever the plant's extracts are used. As Lana continued to wax eloquent about Tony's adventurous spirit and resourcefulness, a sudden commotion stole the show. Her beloved Pomeranian, usually well-behaved, burst into the room and proceeded to relieve itself on the expensive marble floor. Lana's face was a canvas of horror and disbelief. Picking up her pet, her shock deepened when she stepped on a tiny puddle with her designer heels, a pair gifted on a significant occasion. The situation escalated when the door opened again to reveal Yumi bearing smoothies from the Pulse and Blend. The signature drink for the day, the Tony's Special, the same Tony whose discovery was the talk of the meeting and whose name echoed in Lana's infatuated tones. Murmurs of shock filled the room, punctuated by a few muffled chuckles. Lana, ever the diplomat, scooped up her mischievous pet, offering apologies and ensuring the safekeeping of all prototypes henceforth. Their eyes met, Yumi's innocence against Lana's rising fury. The chill in Lana's voice was unmistakable. You owe me new shoes. The chapter closed with this declaration, setting the scene for a showdown that was more than just about footwear. Juice of the Bulletproof Fixer Chapter 2 Nexus Whispers and a Charismatic Call. Within the dimly lit neon nectar, the tension between Yumi and Lana was palpable. The ambient light seemed to dance more restlessly, the music a backdrop to their silent confrontation. However, a brief disruption occurred when Lana, unexpectedly, found herself with a strong phone signal, something virtually unheard of within the bar's walls. Yumi chuckled lightly, adjusting her denim jacket, inadvertently drawing Lana's attention to a beautiful patch sewn onto it. Notice anything different? It's crafted from Digitalis Nexus fibers. Lana's eyes sharpened, her business acumen instantly engaged. Digitalis Nexus, as in the demon's breath. Fascinating. Their exchange was interrupted by the distinct ring of Lana's phone. The display read, Tony. The change in Lana was immediate. From being in command, her posture subtly shifted, revealing a hint of vulnerability. She answered, trying to sound nonchalant. Tony, I was just... Now, Lana, Tony's voice, dripping with charm, rang out playfully from the other end. Do I detect a hint of delay in your voice? Did you forget our little arrangement? Lana's cheeks flushed a shade pinker. No, Tony. I have your order with me. I just got sidetracked for a moment. He chuckled softly. Always the busy bee, aren't you? But remember, even bees need their nectar. I'm waiting. Ending the call, Lana looked a tad flustered but regained her composure quickly. Looks like your Digitalis Nexus has piqued more than just my interest, she remarked, her tone mixed with both curiosity and a hint of amusement. Yumi nodded, extending a hand with a card. If you want to learn more, and if this leads where I think it does, let's chat. But first, deliver those smoothies. Someone's eagerly waiting. Accepting the card, Lana grinned. If this pans out, consider every item on the Pulse and Blends menu ordered for the next month. The two women, now linked by a shared secret, parted ways, each stepping into a world of mysteries they were only beginning to unravel. Juice of the Bulletproof Fixer Chapter 3, Plasma Shadows and Digital Pursuits. The silent alleyways around the neon nectar concealed more than just the usual mysteries of the night. In its deeper shadows, agile figures moved with barely a whisper, their presence known only to those they pursued. They were the ancient guardians, the ninjas, but their mission tonight was not steeped in tradition, it was linked to the modern digital world. The leader of this covert group, known only as Akira, knelt, his fingers lightly touching the ground. Around him, the 4 other ninjas followed suit, their hoods casting veils over their faces, revealing just their eyes, which sparkled with a distinct, almost electrical, energy. As Akira rose, he activated a small device embedded in his glove. A holographic screen appeared, displaying readings of the ambient energy around the neon nectar. The readings were unusual, pointing towards a disturbance in the natural plasma fields of the environment. Plasma, the 4th state of matter, was long understood by scientists. Still, the ancient ninjas held knowledge of its deeper secrets, its potential as a medium for nurturing digital life. Our ancestors spoke of life forms born from the harmony of plasma and digital energy, Akira whispered to one of his subordinates. They believed these entities existed in symbiosis with the natural world, bridging the divide between our reality and the digital realm. His second-in-command, Mira, responded, her voice barely audible. It said these beings could influence the ebb and flow of digital data, that they could navigate cyberspace as easily as we navigate the physical world. The two shared a nod, knowing their mission was linked to these myths and the resurgence of the Digitalis Nexus, also known as the Demon's Breath. This plant, if the legends were to be believed, acted as a conduit between the tangible and digital worlds. Their musings were disrupted when Lana exited the bar. The subtle digital aura around her was a clear indicator that she had come into contact with something powerful. Deciding she was the key, the ninjas began to tail her, their movements as fluid and silent as the wind. The city's bright lights and bustling streets made for the perfect cover as the ninjas trailed Lana to Tony's hideout. Every so often, they would communicate using a unique coded language, their hands weaving patterns in the air, each gesture corresponding to a specific message. As they drew closer to Tony's location, the digital interference on their devices grew stronger. Akira paused, sensing the pulsing rhythm of a powerful digital heart. "We are close," he remarked. The Digitalis Nexus, Tony, the mysterious digital plasma entities, the pieces of the puzzle were slowly coming together, and the ninjas were at the epicenter of it all. Juice of the Bulletproof Fixer Chapter 4, Ambush and the Art of Surprise. The sprawling streets of the district held a delicate balance between the normal and the unusual. Tonight, the shadows bore witness to the latter. As Lana approached Tony's secret lair, the intricate design of the city's alleyways became an amphitheater for a spectacle few would ever know took place. Barely audible footfalls alerted her to a presence behind. Whipping around, she barely had time to gasp as several ninjas emerged, weapons drawn, their intent clear. It was an ambush, meticulously planned and executed. Akira, leader of the ninjas, signaled for the capture with a swift hand movement. Yet, what they didn't know was that they were playing into another's hands. From above, Tony, always one step ahead, observed the scene. His sharp instincts had long suspected that Lana was being followed. And so, he had decided to use the situation to his advantage. Lana, though unaware, was the bait in Tony's trap. In the age-old tales shared by Firelight, heroes of legend would emerge, Hercules with his strength, Gilgamesh with his wisdom, Rollo with his fearsome prowess. Yet, here in the neon-lit streets, amidst the clash of steel and plasma, a legend of a new age was being written. That legend was Tony, clad in his iconic dark attire, which whispered tales of countless battles won and adversaries defeated. Tony stood as an embodiment of martial prowess. The very atmosphere seemed to acknowledge his dominance, as the air grew tense in anticipation. From the depths of his cloak, he drew forth a weapon that resonated with an aura of both ancient art and modern tech, a kusarigama. But this was not the traditional weapon of old. This kusarigama bore a blade with a plasma edge, its vibrant glow a testament to the contained energy within, pulsating and humming, eager to be unleashed. As the ninjas watched, a palpable sense of respect and dread filled them. Here was a warrior who blended the skill of the samurai with the edge of the future. With a roar echoing the battle cries of legendary heroes, Tony launched into the air, his silhouette framed against the neon skyline. The world seemed to slow as he descended, every detail vivid. The soft rustle of his cloak, the electric hum of the plasma blade, the wide-eyed realization of the first ninja who knew he was the chosen target. The kusarigama moved in perfect harmony with Tony, each swing an art form, each strike a note in a deadly symphony. The plasma edge, singing its tune of finality, met the ninja, leaving no room for escape or mercy. But legends, while mighty, are not infallible. In the heat of the battle, as Tony's dance of destruction continued, he failed to notice Akira's stealthy approach. The ninja leader, sensing an opportunity, lunged, managing to pierce Tony's side. A gasp rippled through the onlookers. Would this be the fall of a legend? Yet, legends are not so easily defeated. Instead of the expected blood and pain, the space where Tony stood merely shimmered, a mirage fading away. Akira's triumphant expression morphed into one of sheer disbelief. The legend had vanished, only to reappear moments later behind an unsuspecting Akira, ready to turn the tables once again. Materializing behind the unsuspecting Akira, Tony swiftly twisted his neck, ending the leader's reign. The remaining ninjas, seeing their leader defeated so effortlessly, backed away, reevaluating their decision to confront this formidable opponent. Lana, witnessing the dizzying speed and finesse of the fight, dropped the smoothies she was holding. Tony, always having his priorities straight, catching his favorite smoothie mid-fall. As he took a satisfied sip, Lana sat down in sheer disbelief, trying to process the events that had just unfolded before her. "You all right?" Tony asked casually, the remnants of the battle scene around them contrasting starkly with his nonchalance. Lana could only nod, still grappling with the reality of what she had just witnessed. Juice of the Bulletproof Fixer Chapter 5, The Wounded Heart. Lana's usually unflappable demeanor cracked, revealing a vulnerable side few had witnessed. The evening's chaos faded into the background as her gaze met Tony's. In her eyes, he could see the pain of a love unacknowledged and a trust on the brink. "I've always stood by you, Tony," she whispered, struggling to keep her voice steady. "For you, I would willingly walk through fire. Such is my dedication. Not just because of my lineage as a Josian, but because I care about you." Tony, for all his battle-hardened exterior, looked slightly taken aback. But he remained silent, allowing her to continue. "But when you withhold truths, it's not just a professional affront. It's personal. I believed we had a bond, deeper than secrets, stronger than time." Lana's voice quivered with emotion. "But perhaps I was wrong." Lana quickly dialed a number on her phone. Yumi's voice sounded sleepy on the other end. "Hello." Lana's voice took on an assertive tone, a tinge of hurt just beneath the surface. "Lana here," she announced briskly into the phone. "I'm coming over. Oh, and Yumi, order in a proper girls' night feast. I've got Tony's credit card with me, so let's go all out." Yumi, momentarily taken aback, could only muster a hesitant, "Sure, Lana." The brief call had a hint of finality, the line going silent before Yumi could fully process the whirlwind of emotions from the other end. Meanwhile, Lana turned her attention back to Tony. Her eyes, glistening with unshed tears, pierced him as she whispered, "All the battles, the dangers we've faced, they mean nothing if there's no trust, Tony." Drawing herself to her full height, Lana's posture was one of pride and resolve. "Remember," she continued, her voice carrying a weight of sadness, "it's trust I yearn for, not protection." She took a breath, steadying herself. "Goodbye, Tony." With that, she walked away, leaving the scent of conflict and unresolved feelings in her wake. The neon lights from nearby signs cast a kaleidoscopic glow on the scene, the aftermath of Tony's display of strength and prowess. As the dust settled, a silence enveloped the street, broken only by the distant hum of the city and the soft clinking of his Kusarigama's chain as he sheathed it. He watched Lana's silhouette grow smaller, her decisive steps echoing her determination. Tony, with his tall, lean posture, appeared as an unwavering statue, but his mind was a flurry of calculations and predictions. The smirk that danced on his lips was more than just amusement, it was the mark of a man who was always several moves ahead in the game. His sharp eyes, reflecting the neon's shimmer, narrowed slightly. "Lana won't let this go," he mused internally. Her lineage from the Joseon dynasty and her ambitious Keyball background have made her both resilient and resourceful. She's bound to seek out more about the Digitalis nexus. He was well aware of her competitive nature and her need to stand as an equal, especially in domains that mattered to her. Tony remembered the days when they were allies, working side by side, chasing legends and deciphering myths. But as the stakes grew higher, their paths had diverged. He knew she would want to harness the power of the plant, not just to match his newfound abilities but to carve a name for herself in the annals of history. The gentle breeze played with his hair, carrying with it the various scents of the city, the tantalizing aroma of street food, the faint whiff of car exhaust, and the fresh promise of rain. It seemed to whisper secrets, and Tony, ever the listener, felt more certain than ever. He leaned against a wall, allowing himself a brief moment of rest, and murmured to the wind, "The board is set, the pieces are moving. And dear Lana, you've just made the next play so much more intriguing."